All right, good afternoon and welcome to Just Daf It Shiva YouTube. We're doing Durham Daf Ayin Aleph number 71. A great share for you today. A little late today, but you know, gotta go to breakfast with my wife, give time to my wife and to myself. If you may going out for dinner, better advice, go out for breakfast. It's cheaper, it's much more fun, and a lot of times you don't have time to babysitter for the kids, so it's pretty good. Um, 3 checks against 0 losses. Mishnah says, Nadrav hi arusa, top of Ayin Aleph and Aleph. She takes a neder and she's arusa. Skarsha bo bayom. The arus, right? When she's an arusa, so the father and the arus are in charge of being made for an Nedarim together. Talk about that more. The nature of that, the lumdus and Iyon Ben Sion. She got divorced from her engagement, a broken engagement. Skarsha bo bayom. And that day when she took the nether, right? You normally have 24 hours to be made for the nether. So she got divorced that day. And she got they had another guy waiting for her. She got engaged that day. I feel Lamea, even if 100 different men in that 24-hour period, she gets divorced and engaged to another man. You just need the current artist, the current fiance, the current person who's engaged to her, and the father jointly are made for the nether. If she didn't go into her own rishus, right, either the Bulgaris, or if she gets married fully in the Stu, and then she goes to her own rishus, if that doesn't happen, she's still in the rishus of her father and the latest, the current artist. And as we learned before, an artist could be made for in a Nedarim even though they were taken before he was engaged to her, as opposed to a husband. Gemara says, "Minol the artist achar made for in a Nedarim, shnir the artist rishon." How do you know that the last artist he's made for Nedarim that were appeared to the artist rishon, meaning the first artist heard them? Amar Shmuel, Amar Krav, Im Hayosia Ish and Dareh Haleh. Pasuk says she engaged to a man. Hayosia we interpret it as Kiddush and Erison, right? V'nedareh Aleha. What's the actual word Aleha? Nedarim Shayu Aleh Kvar. Even though she had Nedarim before, meaning when she was first engaged with a different man, right? The husband, not the husband, the Arus and the father are made for together. So the Gemara asks, Del Mahani Milish Lo Nero La Arus Rishon. Maybe this pasuk only talking about where she took a neder, right, in her father's house, or she took a neder when she was engaged, but her husband, her Aris, didn't hear about it. But if the first Aris heard about it and then they got divorced, since he heard about it, he had the ability to take action, and therefore the second Aris can't join together. You go back to the pasuk in the Torah, it's clear from the context of the pasuk that we're talking about a case where she was coming from her father's house, and it's a situation where the Aris didn't hear about it. There was no Aris; it was a father. So that's obviously unquestionably talking about included in whether she was engaged and the Aris never heard about it, or she's coming from her father's house. It's the same thing. So Aleha, the extra word Aleha, Daram Aleha, even though she had a previous Aris that heard it, right? Still, the Aris Shani, when he gets re-engaged, can be made for, and if she doesn't get re-engaged, right, then the father can be made for. We learn this Rokna Rishus La'av. We're going to talk about that more in a second. Tanya, Kavasi de Shmuel. We have a brisa which is basically what Shmuel says. Shmuel just told you the source for our Mishnah. Nara Murasa Avia Baal Mafirna the Raketza. The brisa says, Shama Avia Vehefer. The father heard the neder, and it was made for it. And the husband was not able to hear the neder until he died. The husband died. The Aris died. And she got engaged to somebody else. I feel may upon him. Even 100 times she gets engaged in the same day. I feel the red. So within the 24-hour period. So whoever the current artist is, and the father jointly are made for her nether. Shama Bail, the second case. Now, the Bryce can continue to say a second case, which is not relevant. The Bryce approved, according to the way I'm learning the Gemara, not the way our school learned the Gemara. The Gemara approved Shmuel from the first clause of this brisa. The second clause of the brisa is just stated because that's part of the brisa, and we're gonna just finish off the brisa. Shema Baila behavior law. If her husband heard, right, not her actual husband, the Aris heard, behavior law, and he was revoked in neder. The father didn't get to hear about it. Ad shemeis habal, and then the husband died. The father didn't even hear about it, and then obviously hears about it afterwards. Choser av mefer chalko shabal. The father goes ahead and not only he's going to revoke his chelek, he's going to also revoke the chelek of the husband. The husband really was made for it, but once the husband died, he's no longer, the shutfus is gone. So everything is shroken roshos la'av. It goes back to the shus of the father, and because the husband did revoke it, so the father has to revoke his own part, and he has to um, revoke the part of the Baal, which he inherited from the Baal. These are the words of Beishamai. The father, in this case, we don't say Nisrok and Rosh La'av. Once the husband heard about it, it doesn't matter that Dafka that he actually, even though he actually revoked it, but we're going to see just that he heard about it is enough to prevent the father in Nisrok and Rosh La'av, in this case, from revoking the nether by himself. What's the machlokas between Beishamai and Beis Hillel? If you were familiar with this machlokas, we had it before. And we had an explanation before. Beishamai Savri Nedarim Nami Sharoy La'aris and Shrok Nushos La'av. Beishamai holds, even if the Nedarim were heard by the Aris, and certainly if he is made for the Nedarim by himself, right? Still, not certainly, but also in both cases, Nisrok Nushos La'av, it goes back to the Shus of the father. Now, since he revoked it or heard about it, so the father has to revoke it twice. Revoke it. He doesn't really. I think they don't have to say twice. I'm revoking it. Just say I'm revoking it, my portion and the portion of the husband. You can say that together. Omega's Gaias. And he obviously holds that it's split. The way that the shutfas works, that an aris and the father are made for it together, is that each one is appointed 50% of the share. It's like a partnership, 50%, 50%. So therefore, the aris lost his part. It goes to the father. So he has to be made for it for the aris's part. His own part, he always was in control of. Now he inherits. He inherits the aris's part. Omega's Gaias, right? They cut it in half. Each one cuts it in half, 50%. But Beis Savri. They hold no, that Beis Hillel holds in this case the father can't be made for the neder once it's heard already, and certainly if it's revoked already by the husband, the aris. We don't say Nisrok no Shos La'av because, like we said before, like Martin say the Svara, the Gemara says Miklash Kalish, right? The way the partnership works is not that each is in charge of half of the neder, is that they're jointly responsible for 100% of that neder. So therefore, once the aris heard about it, and certainly if he revoked it, so therefore he's already a player over here, and then he died, and the father didn't have a chance to revoke the nether also. So when the father is srokna, it should be in the srokna Rishos La'av. When he gets Rishos La'av, he's inevitably tied already to half of the nether that was revoked by the previous Baal, but he's dead. So it has to be b'shufas. They have to at the same time be made for the nether. That's no longer possible, and it's no longer possible for the aris to give up his rishus when he died because he already heard it, and certainly if he revoked it, right? Even if he heard it, he already was part and parcel of that neder. So therefore, it can no longer be just undone by the husband, by the father, and certainly if she gets engaged, it doesn't help. It inevitably irrevocably belongs to that husband who heard of it, and he died. So you're stuck, and the nether is stuck over here. Below Mega's guy, as the Gemara says, it's not right. The partnership is not that each gets a half to cut away. It's that Miklish Kalish together they weaken the nether, and both of them together destroy the nether or block the nether. We're going to stop here. That's basically it's a short daf today. I want to explain more in Enoth Ben Sion. Right, we possibly base Hillel Miklish Kalish, not Mega's Gaius, right? It's not a 50-50. It's that they share 100% partnership. I'm just going to explain a little bit part of the rationale of the Torah. What does the Torah mean when we say Miklish Kalish versus Beis Shammai hold Mega's Gaius? What really are they arguing about in terms of the Nedarim of an Arusa, right? A unique halacha, the first mission of this parak, Shutfus, partnership. What is the theory behind the Torah? Even with Ben Sion coming up next.